funny. Movies were about telling great stories, and you didn't need a political lecture every time you hit play. Great entertainment still exists, it's just getting harder to find. Even the biggest streaming platforms leave audiences disappointed. That's why there's Studio TST, pure entertainment, real comedy, independent films, bold creators, movies, comedy, music, and more, and the home of fearless sketch comedy. That show tonight. Entertainment the way you want it. Funny, creative, unapologetic, and agenda-free. Studio TST. The future of entertainment starts here. Join Studio TST today for just $5 a month.
Hello, friends. Do you have a moment so that we may discuss our Lord and Savior Minarchy? No, seriously, I'm just kidding. Hi, my name's Rick Robinson. I am the general manager of KLRNradio.com. We are probably the largest independent podcast network that you've never heard of. We have a little bit of everything, and by that, what I mean to tell you is we have news, pop culture, special events, conspiratainment, true crime, mental health shows, drama productions, and pretty much everything in between. So if you're looking for a new podcast home to grab a little bit of everything that you love all in one place, come check us out. You can find us on X under @KLRNradio. You can find us on our Rumble and our YouTube channels under the same names. You can also find us at KLRNradio.com and pretty much every podcast catcher known to man. So again, feel free to come check us out anytime you like at KLRN.
Hi, everyone. This is JJ, the co-founder of Good Pods. If you haven't heard of it yet, Good Pods is like Goodreads or Instagram, but for podcasts. It's new, it's social, it's different, and it's growing really fast. There are more than 2 million podcasts, and we know that it is impossible to figure out what to listen to. On Good Pods, you follow your friends and podcasters to see what they like. That is the #1 way to discover new shows and episodes. You can find Good Pods on the web or download the app. Happy listening.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
The following program contains coarse language and adult themes. Listener discretion is advised.
I know. This is supposed to be the serious news show, but I can't help it. I cheer dance to all my intros. Welcome into the program, ladies and gentlemen. I am Rick Robinson, General Manager, KLRNradio.com, News Director, General Manager of Digital Beacon US News, and I am joined today for our weekend news roundup by one of our regular panelists, Mr. BZ from BZ's Berserk Bobcat Saloon, otherwise known as the Floating Head of Doom. How you doing today, sir? How's things?
Hi, Mom. Wait a minute. This is supposed to be the serious news show?
Well, it was kind of patterned that way, but I can't really do anything serious. It's not in my DNA.
I try. Hey, thanks for being on the show last night. Appreciate it.
You are very welcome. It was fun. I know a couple times you pointed out you're really quiet tonight. And I'm like, yeah,
you were working on stuff.
Well, I was researching because you guys I don't ever really get show notes or anything from you. So when you guys started talking about stuff I didn't really know that much about, I was like, I should probably see if I can add anything to this because I don't really know that much about it. But yeah, but it was a fun time. It was a fun time.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. I'll ship you like bullet points, that kind of thing.
Yeah, bullet points. But
okay.
I mean, it's not usually a big deal because normally we talk about some of the same stuff. But I will admit, the mosque shooting I've kind of stayed away from because all the stories kept changing, and every time I turn around, there was a new one. I usually have a 24-hour rule on most of that stuff, and that one kind of turned into a 72-hour rule because for the first 48 hours, nobody seemed to know what the hell was going on with it.
It was weird. But weird. Please don't do to me what I did to, there was a friend of mine at in DC by the name of Ken McClinton, and he's friends with Lonnie Poindexter. All useless names because most people here don't know them. But the point is, Ken McClinton used to first invite me on his show in 2017, and I ended up doing his show and Sackheads Radio, and then I finally got my own. So I was doing about 8 hours a week of material, and Ken's show was on Monday. My job, as I saw it, was when Ken would ship me information about, okay, tonight's show is going to be about, my job, I took it upon myself to make sure that I didn't talk about any of that stuff, and I deflected. Nothing but deflected. I'd ask him about this. I'd ask him about that. Thank God that you don't do that to me.
Oh yeah, no, well, yeah, you've talked about that before. But yeah, I try as much as possible to try to stay on topic, especially now that I am being invited onto other people's shows a lot more. And thank you for playing that one clip, by the way. That one, I haven't made myself laugh that hard in a while because he picked the perfect time to end that clip. Because racism is bad.
Oh,
or segregation.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah. And I was like, because he told me after we finished it up, he's like, I'm clipping that. I was like, if I had known exactly where you were going to cut that, I would have went a different direction for the close, and I'd have been, because segregation is bad. Okay.
Oh, you didn't see that clip? I thought you'd seen it.
Oh no, I've seen it, but that's what I'm
entirety.
saying. Yeah, I was on the show. So, but yeah, that clip, he sent it to me after he cut it. And if I had known exactly, and that's what I told him when he sent it to me, I was like, if I had known that you were going to cut that exactly there, I would have gone a different way for the close. Because I didn't realize in my head how shouty I was until.
You were iratibus erectibus.
But I mean, it deserves irateness because the whole Democrat narrative is they're putting you back on the plantations, and we're like, no, we're trying to take them off the plantations. You guys don't like it when we do that, though. So, and the whole thing of they're not going to get to vote anymore. They're not going to get to vote for their candidates anymore. That is the most untruthful, unrealistic argument ever, because everybody that wants to run still gets to run. Everybody that wants to vote for whomever still gets to vote for whomever. It's just now you can't draw districts based on race. Which
now you can't, because what solves racism better than racism?
Right. And we talked about this a little bit on your show last night. This whole, party switch thing is what gets thrown in my face all the time when we talk about all the things that, we're not supposed to have anymore. It's, and we're always like, well, it was the Republicans that did that. But yeah, that was before the party switch that happened in the 60s. And then you ask them to point you toward the party switch, and then they just start regurgitating things that either their civics teacher told them back in the day when civics was taught, or their college professors told them, and you're like, none of this is actually true. There's more holes in the party switch argument than there are in the climate change argument, and we just saw all of that get completely filled with holes.
Again, so wonderful.
Which I will say this, because I know a lot of it last night was we were talking about ways we wish they would fight harder. There have actually been some pretty big wins that I don't think we're giving enough credit for, because we keep getting mad about the other things. And one of them is the whole climate change narrative finally completely falling apart, because that is one of the most asinine things ever that I have seen.
I threw that in there, hashtag simply because when I was in college in the 60s, when, BZ? Oh, it was a while ago. We had to study Paul Ehrlich's The Population Bomb. And Paul Ehrlich's premise was, we're all going to die, hashtag because way too many people. And it turns out now that some civilizations like Japan, which I didn't know until I read a story yesterday, apparently Japan has thousands of homes that are not occupied. And Japan is not meeting its reproductive rate. Yet, on the other hand, I got to hand it to Japan on this one. They're kicking Muslims out at a prodigious rate because Islam is an infestation. And thank God a few civilizations, Japan, Poland, Hungary, realize this. And speaking of Hungary, Hungary had a new president, and he was elected on a portion of what he said was, I think we need to re-examine who we let into the country. And the people that were on the left, the middle to the left, said, "Oh, finally, another guy that's not like the previous president." And then the new president says, "Yeah, what I meant was we need to re-examine how fewer people we need to let into Hungary," which was turn, turn, turn. See, I
That's
don't have
not
a
what we
producer.
thought he meant.
That's not what we thought he meant. And then there he is. Him is your new prezi now.
Oh, by the way, do me a favor. If you're in your
Sure.
setup and your board is active, hit your usual button because it works here too. Just so you know.
My usual button?
Yeah, your dun 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 that you always say you wish you had a producer for. That will actually work here.
Are you
That's it.
serioso?
That's how I play sounds on your show all the time.
Oh my God.
So yeah, you can actually be a little bit more of a creative producer when somebody else is doing the talking and the stream running on somebody else's show.
God, I
So-
didn't know that.
Yeah,
Thank
like
you.
all the times this comes through on your show,
Giggity giggity. Giggity goo.
that's because that's me hitting a button.
I learned something new today. This is fabuloso.
Well, I mean, and I get it. I know you've told me repeatedly you were a techno Luddite, but I'm like, dude, you've heard me play sounds on your show. I kind of figured you would have known, but anyway. So yeah,
Well,
love you, brother.
you know, what I had to realize, what I know is that, well, yeah, I am the techno Luddite, and there's a reason he does that is because he's smarter than me. It's true.
I wouldn't go that far. All right. But anyway, I guess we should probably at least start talking about some of the news. For those of you that may not have heard yet, Tulsi Gabbard is resigning as DNI, but it's not for the reason that the left is going to make you think. It's actually because she's found out that her husband has a very severe form of cancer. So, yeah,
That's a very sad story.
which is not good at all. But yeah, don't listen to the Democrat attacks that are coming and all that stuff. And yeah, she actually put this out in a post an hour ago. So I am deeply grateful for the trust President Trump placed in me for the opportunity to lead ODNI Gov for the last year and a half. And that's actually their X account name. Unfortunately, I must submit my resignation effective June 30th, 2026. My husband, Abraham, has recently been diagnosed with an extremely rare form of bone cancer. He faces major challenges in the coming weeks and months. At this time, I must step away from public service to be by his side and fully support him through this battle. So don't listen to the screes that are about to be coming from the left. She's actually being a pretty solid wife, in my opinion. So
It's a very sad story if it's the kind of bone cancer that I think. A friend of mine had a similar cancer. And I'm not saying this is it definitely, but it went through the lymph system. And eventually in a matter of months, it went through major organs, and it was a terrible, terrible thing to watch because he was a fairly good friend of mine. So it's not like you hear somebody getting cancer, but you don't see them because you don't really interact with them very much. And I watched this guy. I used to come over and see how quickly it went from various stages. So, I hate to be hackneyed, but truly thoughts and prayers to her. And, it's going to change your life. Definitely. So sorry to hear that.
oh wow, okay. I gotta put this on the screen because BZ and I were talking about this before the show, and I'm not gonna weigh in too much about it one way or the other because to me the whole thing just seems kind of weird. But they just did one of the coolest AI things with that stuff that I just sent you a second ago. So I'm gonna put it on the screen. So hang on. I think it was that one. I think. If not, I can hit the tab real quick. Yep, there we go. All right. So should be loaded on the screen now.
I see
And
it.
as everybody can see, you can see the little weird gap at the bottom. A lot of people that do gaslighting and everything else are explaining that it's a shadow, etc. I gotta say, if it's shadow placement, it looks a little weird to me. BZ and I were actually joking in the green room that it's probably a lizard person. Apparently, that may not be the case, though. Because here we go. So there's the Jew hate coming through AI.
Okay.
Yay!
Perfect.
Fun times.
Yeah.
Fun times.
Poor guy. That, folks, that's not a tracheotomy, okay? Get that out of your brain.
Yeah, I don't know what that is because, I mean, at first glance, I was really kind of, maybe it is just a weird shadow, but then it moves. And I'm like, I mean, maybe he's vain enough that he's had some sort of a mask done to help with his wrinkles or something. I mean, this isn't the Conspiratainment show, so I'm not going to go too far down this rabbit hole. I just got to say, that's probably one of the weirdest things that I've seen on Fox News in a while. And I've seen some weird shit on Fox News. I'm just
all over the place.
Yeah.
You know, it's interesting. She's not here to defend herself, so that's why I'll say it. Mrs. BZ will send me things that as I've said to her before, if you send me something because it appears on its face to be too good to be true, it's probably too good to be true. And it takes, I don't know, you correct me, you tell me what you think, Rick. There are certain things that people will send me, particularly if it's graphic material or video material, that, to me, it screams AI. I mean, it's just, it may as well reach its fist out, its little digital fist, and hit me and slap me in my face. And yet, I love my wife dearly, and she'll still send me things that, to me, that's AI. And it's just, to myself, I've been in graphics. I was in photography. I used to make money doing photography, 35 millimeter film, a long time ago. And so I've always had an appreciation for graphics, which is why my AI stuff is okay, but it's not as good as yours. And I can't make songs such as yourself. But a lot of stuff is really obvious to me. And so you still have to be, if that's my wife, then what are a lot of other people thinking about stuff?
Yeah, no, that happens to me all the time. All right, so I did a bit of a piece today about the GOP's current circular firing squad happening in DC, with the whole Thune being pissed off because Trump didn't back his guy, so he called for an early recess. And I guarantee it won't be a full recess, so there won't be any recess appointments that are happening during the recess, which is another thing that really pisses me off about John Thune, because you're supposed to be on this dude's side and the Democrats are being dicks. If all the times that they haven't been in DC, if he would have just done a full recess, most of the people that Trump is fighting to get posted would have already been posted, which is another reason why you sometimes have to ask yourself, who are you actually fighting for? But if you thought this was specific to DC, you would be wrong. We talked about this a little bit last night on your show, if I remember right, because I think it came up, and it was South Carolina. Basically, their House just passed their own redistricting stuff, and it got kicked over to the Senate. Their Senate actually moved it out of committee, but the full Senate rejected a motion to speed up debate. The vote reportedly failed 15-25, with 6 Republicans joining Democrats to block the expedited process. The GOP senators named the ones that are failing to represent their constituency: Rex Rice, Shane Massey, Sean Bennett, Chip Campson, Tom Davis, and Greg Hembry. Now, again, these are these are state GOP representatives, not the national level ones. As far as the main concerns on this, though, is they wanted to do the expedited process to get it on the governor's desk and get it signed so that they didn't run into the same issue that Virginia ran into, because early voting in South Carolina begins on May 26th. So if it's not signed like by now, then there would be no way to get it done. So this is, again, apparently another episode of the GOP's circular firing squad, because apparently Redistricting is only easy when Democrats are doing it with a flamethrower and a stopwatch. Because when our side is given the same opportunity, they immediately form a committee to study and just run full bore into the rake they're about to step on, just because they just don't want to be seen as the bad guys.
I'm of two minds about the GOP almost all the time.
Well, that's because they're bipolar. So
it's a schizo relationship. A long time ago, I stopped voting Republican. I'm an actual registered independent. I used to send money to the RNC, but that stopped 20 years ago, right around there. And it is a true love-hate relationship. Why do these people hate themselves so much? As you and I both agreed on the show last night, dudes, you're already at we hate the hell out of you, Republicans. So what have you got to lose by pushing back a little bit and standing up for yourselves and being vertebrate? Nothing. It's like, God dang, I want to smack you so bad.
Right. Careful. Some of them pay extra for that.
Well,
so
that's true. Plus, is it really shocking? Is it really shocking?
No. I mean, I guess for me, it's more shocking that, because we understand how much this happens at the national level. What's astounding to me is how much it happens at the local and the state levels too. Especially when, look, here's the thing. Whether you like Donald Trump, whether you hate Donald Trump, I don't care about that. I'm probably about 80-20 with Trump at this point, because there's plenty of things that he's done that I don't agree with. This is something I was going to get to in a second. I have a theory as to why he's staying in DC this weekend and not going to his son's wedding. We may get to that at the end of the show. However, the thing about it is the Democrats have already told you everything that they're going to do if they happen to take back the midterms and also manage to take back the presidency in 2028. They're going to stack the heck out of the Supreme Court. They're going to get rid of the filibuster. There's already talk where not only are they going to try to make DC a state, they're going to try to divide it up into 4 different districts and make it 4 different states, because now they don't really want Puerto Rico to be a state, because Puerto Rico is coming out on conservative sides on a lot of issues like abortion. And there was something else that came out the other day. I was like, yeah, that is going to completely kill the whole momentum for the Democrats to want Puerto Rico to be a state. But yeah, so, at this point, it's a fight for survival. And I don't feel like our side understands that enough. And even people that usually agree with me have all been, I don't know why you can still support Trump, because he's still the better of the options that we have available, even if I don't always agree with him.
Nobody left. It's so sad. Lyle Armstrong, you got his comment on the screen. Lyle, you'll be pleased to know that there's a big can of Monster in front of me right here that you can hear. I was drinking that when you put your damn comment up, and carbonated this stuff almost went through my nose. Thanks, mister. Good God.
Wait, only almost? You should have timed it a little better, Lyle. It's more fun when see, he told you last night it's more fun when it actually goes through the nose. So you missed it by that much. And we have Amy Curtis from Town Hall, and also a regular contributor here on the Weekend News Roundup, joining us at this time. How you doing, ma'am? How's things?
Things are great. Just peachy. It's been a week. Let me just say that much. So apologize for being late, but thank you for having me on as always. I love doing this very, very much.
Like
the Amy is never late. She always shows up precisely when
just
she is
like
meant
Gandalf.
to. So.
Like the Van Halen quote, I don't feel tardy.
Well, most people who are tardy don't ever feel tardy, but that's the different version of tardy. So there's that. Anyway.
Good to see you, Amy.
Hey.
Good to see you too.
We got an Al sighting in the chat who is on vacation right now, and I'm all kinds of bitter about that, even though I am doing the work that I like to do full time now. But yeah, he's like, yesterday he's all putting in one of the chat rooms that I'm in on X. This is my last work day of May, and I'm all like, fucker.
On the other hand, around here, I have a new song. Somebody's going to Greece. Somebody's going to Greece.
Wait,
it's Egypt. But I kept making that mistake. Greece was last summer. We have today's 2 weeks from today. I will be in Egypt.
Okay.
And in 12 days, I actually fly out because it is I fly from Chicago to JFK to Charles de Gaulle in Paris, then to Cairo, and then back on the 23rd. So
can I rewind the tape then?
sure, but in fairness, we're on the same wavelength because every time I refer to it, I keep saying Greece too, and I don't know why. Beyond the fact, I will say I really loved Greece. If you can get there, go. It is a beautiful country full of beautiful people, and lots of history. So
somebody's going to Egypt. Somebody's going to Egypt.
And those sound effects, ladies and gentlemen, are provided by someone who, when he first started doing things like this, you actually had to splice tape together.
Oh, God. Yes. Nothing like a splice bar. People right now are going, splice bar? Is that
what is that?
Is
like
that
a
where you
juice
go
bar?
to make friends? Yes, kids. Of course. Let's see if this works. Splice bar.
It worked. So you you should do a whole thing about the splice bar, and then just the tagline should be the splice must flow.
Wait. Son of a bitch. Okay. Don't think I'm not writing this down right now.
Oh, so another little quick hit news story, one that I actually like. Apparently, Donald Trump is moving forward with us not having to change the clocks ever again, and has dovetailed the making daylight savings time permanent thing into a package that is being reviewed, or was being reviewed in the Senate before John Thune said, "We're going home." I also think there may be a more political thing going on than GOP's giving Thune credit for, because a lot of the folks that just lost their primaries have flipped their vote on the WPA, and I think that may be another reason why Thune said, "Fuck it, we're going home."
that could be.
Because that might actually put them to 51 with the folks that have flipped. So I think there might be a reason why he's doing what he's doing. And that's me just playing devil's advocate, because he is a squish, and I'm probably giving him way too much credit. But yeah, when I saw the reports of all the people that were all of a sudden going, yeah, now we're willing to vote to restrict the war powers, I'm like, yeah, maybe that's why he said, "Fuck it, we're going home." But yeah. So, and I know a lot of folks are like, well, if we're going to change the clock, can't we go back to permanent regular time and just leave daylight savings time alone? No, because I like this one better.
Right. I don't care if it means I never have to spring ahead an hour again in April or March or whenever we do it. I'm fine with that. You know what? People will adjust. Kids will adjust. This panic of they're going to go to school when it's too dark out.
Well, okay. Which one are they going to keep, though? Are they going to keep regular time?
They're going to keep daylight savings. So my understanding is we wouldn't turn the clocks back in November, right?
Yeah, so if this passes and they get it done in time, we will not have to move clocks back in November. I do have an interesting compromise that I saw on social media. Somebody who said, for everybody who's fighting over the difference, why don't we just move the clocks back 30 minutes and leave them the fuck alone? I could get behind that too. It's kind of splitting the difference. You get
because isn't it? Let's see. I think there are two states, New Jersey and Arizona, who don't recognize that at all.
And
I didn't know New Jersey.
I know Arizona. I looked it up because I actually wrote the story up. And the ones that showed up in my search, it was Arizona and Hawaii. But in fairness, Hawaii, they're so close to the equator that the season change doesn't affect their sunlight much at all. But it's definitely Arizona. I didn't know about parts of New Jersey, and I thought it was parts of Indiana too. But when I searched earlier, it said no, it's just Arizona and Hawaii.
Well, it's like Arizona. Who cares?
Right.
Or I should say Hawaii, because it's Hawaii. The breezes are blowing. Blah 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 blah.
So, did you guys see Rob Schneider's post on X earlier? Because he made a point about this whole LA mayoral race that I never thought of. If this dude wins, he'll be the first homeless person ever elected mayor.
Look at the diversity.
Oh, wow.
Yay, they have now they're morally obligated to.
He put that out, like, that's kind of cool. That's kind of awesome to kind of think about it. You can go from homeless to being the mayor. Only in America can you go from homeless to being the mayor.
Well, the other thing, somebody wrote a story, I don't remember where, but I glanced seeing it this morning. And somebody wrote a story about Spencer Pratt says he discovered most of his supporters are Democrats.
Well, that's because they're tired of the shit. I mean, a lot of that. This is the part of it that nobody wants to talk about, because we talked about this a little bit last night with what is it, like 54-46, but reverse. So 54% of Democratic voters are pissed off with the Democratic Party, and 46% approve. But a lot of the 54% that don't approve are pissed off because they haven't gone woke enough, they haven't gone left enough, they haven't gone commie enough. So what's happening is the part of that 54% that don't approve are still folks that are like, no, you've gone too far. So that more and more of those people are finding their way more towards the center. And that's why a lot of what I call the sane Democrats, which seem to be few and far between anymore. If you are one of them, I'm not trying to insult you. You just need to start being a little louder so we know you're there. Are starting to be like, no, I don't want to do this anymore. And again, I think another thing that's happening, especially in LA, is everybody remembers how the mayor said, no, this will not be a land grab to bring in low income housing. And then what did they do 6 months later?
Right, yep. Land grab for low income housing. Like, we all knew that they were full of crap when they said that. And we all knew they were going to do exactly what they are doing. Like, nobody should be shocked by that at all.
No. First place that popped into my brain for that was also Lahaina.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, absolutely. They did the same thing there, too.
Beautiful place. Loved it. Oh, by the way, this just came up. I just saw this from Califailure. And back, if everybody remembers, back in April, right around the 22nd or so, just not long ago at all, California threatens to leave, or Chevron threatens to leave California due to taxes. And then Newsom comes out and says, by the way, this weekend, Memorial Day weekend, I would not recommend buying Chevron gas.
Incredible.
Yeah, well, there's a reason
Incredible.
why. Well, the reason why he's telling everybody to avoid those gas stations is because they have posted on all of their pumps that Sacramento is the reason why their gas prices suck.
They have the guts to write the truth.
Yep. And we need more of that. I've been saying that forever. These CEOs sit on their butts and don't say anything as the politicians demonize them. Come out and say, nope, your taxes are high because they make us charge you these taxes. It's not our fault to blame the politicians. And clearly they don't like that when they get held accountable. So good for Chevron. I don't think there's a Chevron stations near me, but I would go shop at Chevron in a heartbeat.
It's so weird because around here in Nome, Idaho, customarily, at least it was in Califailure, Chevron was one of the premium grades, and you would pay a little bit more for Chevron. There's no difference here between Chevron or Exxon or anyone else or the little mom and pops that are serviced by jobbers around here. No difference at all. It's just so weird. And you don't have those weird ass, crazy, flappy pump handles that you can never get into the tank or never get out of the tank, and they click things off for you. We have what gas handles used to be back in the 70s and the 60s and whatnot. They just go into the tank and just gas comes out. How weird.
Right.
Yeah, it's funny how things work when they actually work. So I saw this from Ward Clark earlier and thought it would be worth bringing up. Apparently, Texas Democrats are now blaming Democrats for the whole Zionist firestorm thing that's happening there.
What?
So, yeah. So this is from the Red State article that it looks like he pulled from another source. A Democratic congressional candidate in San Antonio wants to turn an ICE detention center into a prison for American Zionists, and she has a runoff election in 1 week. Maureen Galindo, running to represent Texas' newly redrawn 35th congressional district, is facing a cascade of condemnation after a series of social media posts in which she called for Zionists to be imprisoned, accused Jewish Zionists of controlling politicians and the media, and declared that her runoff opponent should be tried for treason. So, yeah, the crazy didn't fall far from that tree. Yeah, I thought I think I have one of her things bookmarked. Hang on, because I was going to talk about it the other day, and then I ran out of time. So I think I have her down here.
Well,
There's a lot of crazy on the Democrat side. Holy crap.
The other weird ass unit, the guy who is allegedly religious, and he won his primary in Tejas. I can't think of the dude's name.
I can't think.
He's about as religious as the bark on a tree.
Are you talking about Tallarico?
Right?
That's it.
Yeah, that guy.
The
that
vegan
guy.
who thinks God is non-binary, and they chose to run him in Texas.
Yeah.
Brilliant move, guys.
Texas it's fucking schizo now.
Well, that's because again, there seems for some reason there's been a large influx of Muslims to Texas though too, which is making it schizoid. But anyway, so here is the clip that she's getting in trouble for and keeps trying to walk back, and that's not actually what I meant.
When I say that I want billionaire Zionists in prison, that does not mean I want Jews in internment camps. So why am I getting a whole bunch of death threats and MAGA insults? Which actually makes sense, I realize. Like, MAGA and Jewish Zionists apparently are the exact same people. They talk the exact same way, and that's because MAGA is the developing Christian Zionism. That's how they want to create a religion state in the United States of America, is through MAGA, which that's the goal of Zionism, is to create these white supremacist religion states. So, like, I don't care what religion you are. If you are a Zionist, meaning that you believe that you are just entitled to land, or someone's just entitled to land based off of religious beliefs, and that you'll kill all of the Semites for it, then yeah, I think that you're a danger to humanity and belong in prison. Especially if you have the political and economic resources to make that happen. And that's how we will get all of the billionaire Zionists in prison, is through all of the business.
Okay.
Wow.
All right. Do Islam next, Bint.
Right. But that's different.
So
Islam is diversity.
That's completely.
Yeah. It's always attacking the whites and the Christians, but go ahead.
So I'm going to leave Schizoid Barbie on the screen for a second while I point out a couple things. What the fuck? For one,
That's
my language. What the actual fuck was all of that? The other thing is somebody who talks for a living quite regularly, and you would think that somebody that was running for office could put together a minute and 11 seconds of cogent thought. Did you guys notice all the obvious cuts that were there because the wind noise stopped and everything got quiet? Then it moved.
Yep.
There were like 6 cuts in a minute and 11 seconds.
I counted 5, but yeah, no, absolutely. It was like Joe Biden's team edited this.
I can make a sentence jump cut. I can make a sentence jump cut. I can make a phrase jump cut.
Right. What was cut out of that enlightening statement that they had to jump cut it 6 times? I would love to know, because like let's strip this down to bare bones. This is who the Democrats are, and this is what they want to do. They want to put anybody they disagree with in prison. But remember, we're the fascists. We're the threat to democracy. We're the violent ones. Okay.
We're the kings.
Yeah.
The kings.
So, yeah, it's just all of this is just so damn dumb. But yeah, her new nickname from me from now on is Schizo Barbie. The whole
Can she define?
First of all, I'm just like
just like fascism, just like Nazism. She defines Zionism as anything I don't like. So
exactly.
It's a great catch-all, because then you can do that to anybody and everybody. I love the bell. I love when I get the bell. It's like
it works.
It's like a Pavlovian response.
I was drooling anyway.
Oh, well, that's part of why I was running behind, is because my son has a bake sale this weekend for his Rome trip, and I had to get the banana bread in the oven because it's got to get shipped out tonight. So I look like the white hand of Sauron here. So that's why I'm not on camera, because it's so crazy.
Nice.
Yeah, flour everywhere.
Flour everywhere. You sure it's flour? There's other white powders. Just saying. Just kidding.
Oh, well, there are days when that is very tempting. Not gonna lie. But
at BZ, you just made Lyle fetch a beer. Every time the bell rings, I need a beer.
Hit that bell a couple more times. Get Lyle some more beers.
It's Lyle. It's never
I
too early for beer. You have a refrigerator, rate it.
Hey, Lyle, does it count if the bell gets hit more than once?
That's a lot of beer.
Just saying.
God, now what does he do? Beer.
Drinks a lot.
I can't say beer fast enough.
Nope.
Speaking of saying,
but yeah.
Speaking of saying beer fast enough, what is going on with Kyle Busch? He said a couple of days before his death at 41, he said, I'm not feeling well these days. As in, okay, what the heck was going on? This is so bizarre. Why is it that everything today has to be bizarre and a conundrum?
Well, I mean, as somebody that, has an aunt who was a nurse and a lot of nurses in my family, there is this weirdness where a lot of times people kind of know right before it happens.
Yeah, especially with cardiac events, people report feeling an overwhelming sense of dread, like something bad is going to happen and they just can't explain what it is. There's nothing going on in their life that would explain it, and they just feel this overwhelming sense of dread. I saw it sometimes when I was doing hospice, and people know, on this like fundamental intuitive level when something is wrong. Even like I think my ex-husband suspected he was ill right before he passed away in 2024 because the post he wrote on New Year's Eve, just looking back on it now, seemed kind of foreboding in hindsight, And there was, I don't know if you guys caught the audio that TMZ got a hold of, the 911 call from the day he died. He was apparently on the bathroom floor of whatever racing track he was at, short of breath, with a fever, coughing up blood. Now, absent the fever, the shortness of breath and coughing up blood could be explained as a blood clot, which unfortunately for some people just happens without rhyme or reason. I'm sure everybody else's mind went there too. I went there, wondered if he had gotten the COVID vaccine at some point, because there have been clotting issues with that too. But with the fever, that is a little bit odd. You typically don't see that with just a straight blood clot. That's the sign of usually an infection, something else going on. And he had been complaining of a sinus cold, like as recently as last week. During a race, he asked for the doctor to come see him afterwards. It's something happened. Like 41-year-old men don't typically just drop dead like that. And I think there's going to be a lot of speculation until we actually get some firm answers, if we ever get some firm answers, because given that he's famous, they may do what they did with Bob Saget and say, nope, we're sealing this up and you'll never know the real reason. So.
Oh, I'd forgotten about Bob Saget.
I'm pretty sure Bob Saget's was a mob hit.
Somebody took him out. Mm-hmm. Somebody took him out because his skull was like fractured in a bunch of places. There's not consistent with how they said he died, like falling in the bathtub. And the fact that they found him lying in bed the way that he was lying in bed, like nothing was wrong. No, all the alarm bells. Somebody got to him, and I don't know who.
See, I never heard anything about any kind of connecting tissue to Bob Saget. Yeah, funny guy, and a mob hit. I completely missed that connect.
Well, if you think like he was Mr. Danny Tanner, he was not. I'm not saying he was a bad dude. I'm just saying he was not as clean and wholesome as Full House made him out to be. And that's fine, but something happened there because I don't even remember. I'd have to look, and I don't want to Google it right now because my internet is it was not working earlier today. I don't want to chance it, but like the way the blood, there was minimal blood. It was just odd that something about that will never add up. And I don't think we'll ever know the truth about what really happened to Bob Saget either, but we shall see.
I'm with Andrew Young. I blame CERN.
I blame CERN for a lot of things, but I do have a bit of a story update. So earlier today, I put out an urgent bolo for a friend of mine's son who has autism, who was released from work early, and parents were never notified, and he had been gone for over 14 hours. Now, because of his autism, everybody in local law enforcement went crazy, go nuts, and did all the things that they normally wait 24 to 48 hours to do. There has been, at least as far as I know, a happy update. All she did was text me a minute ago that he has been found. She hasn't told me anything else. So yes. And then I think it was it Amy that just sent me another thing it was Amy that just sent me yet another thing that makes me want to scream, what the fuck?
That just popped into my timeline too. And I am not surprised, but at all.
I mean, I'm not really either, but still at the same time, because here's the thing that actually does surprise me a little bit. And for those of you, because you don't know what the hell I'm talking about yet, this has been reported by Bill Malugin. Breaking: Kilmar Abrego Garcia's federal human smuggling indictment has just been dismissed. This is from the federal judge's opinion. The court does not reach its conclusion lightly. Bullshit. The objective evidence here shows that absent Abrego's successful lawsuit challenging his removal to El Salvador, the government would not have brought this prosecution. The executive branch closed its investigation in and on the November 2022 traffic stop. Only after Abrego succeeded in vindicating his rights did the executive branch reopen that investigation. What the government labels as new evidence was not new as a matter of law. The prosecutor's subjective good faith does not cure the retaliatory taint absent Blanche's tainted investigation. Agent Saud would not have called McGuire. Singh would not have brought him into the fold, and McGuire would not have sought an indictment against Abrego. The indictment then provided the executive branch cover to comply with the Judge Zinnis' order to facilitate Abrego's return to the United States as soon as possible. Abrego's motion to dismiss the indictment must be granted.
Absolutely ridiculous.
All I have to say about that is
absolutely ridiculous. There is no reason whatsoever to dismiss those charges. And part of this, I will hold the Trump administration accountable. Put that guy on a plane, send him to a country, and then the next time a judge tells you to bring him back, tell the judge to go pound sand.
Yeah.
He should have been gone a year and a half ago instead of letting this guy. This guy has had due process now. We're done. He was here illegally. Remove him. End of discussion.
Well, that should have been the end of the discussion, and that's the whole point. So first of all, dude was here illegally. There's body cam footage proving dude did the things that he was charged with, but because the previous administration ended the investigation, for some reason, the current administration couldn't start it up again.
Who's the guy on Inquiry? I forget his last name. Stephen L. Hull. I had a discussion with him late last year. And one of the questions that I posed to him was, what keeps people from looking at judges and concluding, federal judges specifically, and concluding that they don't have the power? They may have a power within a given district, but they don't have national power. This needs to be challenged. And I said, what would happen? And he said, it's not impossible to do that. And perhaps someday it could be done. He fears, and he thinks other people fear, the precedent that would set. And my reply was, it's time for that precedent. Stay in your damn lanes, in your district. That's fine. Then we can go to various appellate courts in the applicable districts. But then your
out there,
your opinion doesn't blanket cover the United States, and everyone accepts that it does.
Exactly. It is ridiculous that these judges think that they can rule for everybody else, and simply because they don't like President Trump.
And before you go, Amy, story you wrote, I got to hear something about this.
Okay, which one?
Francesca Hong wants to be Wisconsin's next governor. She also wants to defund the police.
Yep. Yeah. Go ahead.
What the hell? That's all I was going to say.
Oh no, that is on brand for Madison. Absolutely on brand for Madison. She is, I believe. Let me double check that. She is I believe she's a state rep right now. She's a member of the state assembly, and she's a Democratic socialist who has said vocally, "I want to defund the police." She was asked by CNN if she would walk that back, and she wouldn't walk it back. So we know where she stands. The silver lining on all of this is the Democratic primary here. The field is absolutely crowded. They're coming on the heels of a very unpopular governor who used and abused, and I will argue this till the day I die, his line item veto power to amend because we do a biennial budget here in Wisconsin. So in 2023, he took his line item veto, and in the budget line that said the tax increases for schools was 2024, 2025, he erased the 0 in the 2025 and changed it to 24, 25. So for the next 400 years, school districts will be able to unilaterally jack up your property taxes, and it already has started. People are livid about their property tax increases, and that's all on the Democrats and Tony Evers. So there's some, she's got some disadvantages, but she's also the one with the best name recognition. She's the one who I see signs for all over the city of Milwaukee and in the enclaves where I know that there are a lot of liberals. I didn't get a chance to write this yet, but I will be writing it shortly. There is a I got this tip that the Democrats now are starting to panic about her and are working at a way to get her out of the primary for somebody who's a little bit more reasonable. But I don't know who they go to, because the second place person in the primary right now is Mandela Barnes, who was lieutenant governor under Tony Evers during his first term, who tried to run for Senate against Ron Johnson. He too is a defund the police, defund ICE, BLM, Black Lives Matter, woke bullshit politician. No, he's black. Mandela Barnes is black.
Why would you try to get rid of her when Democrat socialism is the new thing? It's the new gig.
Right. Well, the problem is we are a swing state that Donald Trump won in 2020 by a very thin margin. The Republicans control both the state assembly and the state Senate, and they're probably going to maintain control of that house. The Democrats are going to get blown out of the water if they don't run a more moderate candidate. The one thing, unfortunately, they do have going for them is right now they control the state Supreme Court, which is going to make things a big mess because the Democrats have already sued to stop Act 10. They've sued on the grounds that the school choice program here is unconstitutional. And the state Supreme Court is going to obviously rule in their favor because they're just populated by leftist women. So Democrats see an opportunity here to cement their power in Wisconsin, and they're going to take it. And they don't think Francesca Hong can do that. And voters need to know, you elect her, we are going to basically become East Minnesota, complete with the crime, complete with the fraud, complete with the sanctuary policies.
Wonderful. Just what you need.
Well, I'm hoping to get the heck out of here anyway, but where I land, I don't know, south, where it's more. I hate winter, I hate the cold. South.
Avoid Texas.
I think Texas might be a little too much. We'll see. I don't know. Wherever I land, I will.
I don't know. Aggie lives in Texas, so if I was to move, it'd probably be Texas, because then I could.
I mean, Texas isn't off the table. Florida, the humidity kills me, but Florida's not off the table. You know, I don't
want to live in America's penis, though.
Well,
America's flaccid penis.
Now you've ruined that for me. So thank you.
You're welcome. I live to serve. All right. So we're getting close to the end. So I do have a couple of quick hits. One of them, thanks to BZ, the link you sent me was dragging down my internet. So I kind of had to use my little AI buddy to help me summarize it a bit. And
okay.
So we talked about this before Amy joined, and it's the whole brouhaha about the retired general who looks like he's wearing a mask. So everybody's having a fit because there was a May 19 appearance on America's Newsroom where he was discussing Trump's military operations in Iran. Social media users went nuts, began sharing screenshots and clips, with some joking or speculating that he was wearing a mask. I'm still saying lizard person, just saying. Or had been replaced, or that something stranger was happening. There are even some folks that tried to say that it was some sort of tracheotomy situation, and I'm like, they can't leave those holes open like that. No, that's not how that usually works. However, Fox News did try to give people a straightforward explanation. Apparently, he was appearing remotely from a mobile camera position, and it was operated by an outside vendor. And lighting in the van where they were shooting the spot contrasted with his jacket, creating a shadow on his neck. I still have a weird bit with that because watching the video clip, it moved in a very weird way that does it looks three-dimensional.
And now, in fairness, the way our brain's eyes vision work, it can deceive us. There was that photo that went around of the Bidens with the Carters a couple of years ago, where it looked like Rosalind and Jimmy were very, very tiny, and Joe and Jill were like massive compared to them. And that was just a matter of perspective. But I saw the video. It is hard to wrap your head around Fox News' explanation when you see it with your own eyes.
Well, I heard Jimmy and Rosalind are 4'3", but that's just me.
They're hobbits.
Yes.
The only explanation. They're hobbits. It's the only explanation. All right, so I'll give my favorite story of the week first. This is not one of mine, but it supports one of my long-held positions. According to Ward Clark and recent psychological studies, apparently smart people talk to themselves. So everybody who calls me crazy for talking to myself, you can suck it. Just saying. So just to kind of give you guys a bit of an overview, Ward Clark is talking about a couple of different studies. The article says people often assume intelligent people are always composed, careful, and articulate. Yeah, have you met me? But some research challenges that stereotype. One cited a 2012 study and found that people searching for an object found it faster when they said the object's name out loud, suggesting self-talk can help focus perception and attention. It also cites a 2015 study, including research suggesting people who can produce more swear words also tend to perform better on broader verbal fluency tasks. The argument is that swearing is not necessarily evidence of a limited vocabulary, as my teachers used to tell me. In some cases, it may reflect a larger verbal toolbox overall. Suck it, Miss Sanders.
I'll take the win.
Just saying.
Because I've never been Mr. Potty Mouth.
So, yeah, science has confirmed what every broadcaster already knows. Talking to yourself and occasionally swearing at the equipment is not madness. It is apparently advanced cognition.
Yes.
And I threw that swearing at the equipment part in specifically for BZ.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. So, Amy, what do you got for us?
I'm going to say that my favorite story is actually out of New Jersey, which doesn't learn its lesson. A couple of weeks ago, they were smacked down by SCOTUS after they broadly subpoenaed first choice pregnancy centers for a slew of information, donor lists, advertisements, on the grounds that you're deceiving people who donate to you by pretending you provide abortions, which is a lie. That happened under their old AG. Their new AG, however, came back from SCOTUS and said, nope, we're still going to enforce this subpoena, and went to a lower court to try to override SCOTUS. That being said, now the AG has sent out a subpoena to all of the state's firearms dealers, asking them for all of the Glock sales for like the past 10 years. Because what are they trying to do? Build a database full of Glock owners so they can start confiscating the most popular gun in the United States, the most popular handgun, in the United States. This, I suspect, will also go to court, and it will also go all the way up to SCOTUS, and New Jersey will once again be smacked down. But the lesson here, folks, is they never give up. They want your guns. They want your freedom. They want your liberty, and they will do whatever it takes to get it. So act accordingly.
Anybody remember Clinton in the 1990s, 1994? Did BZ give up anything he had? No. Fuck him.
Mm-hmm. No, absolutely. My guns all got lost in a tragic boating accident. I'm so sorry. Whoops.
Same thing. I don't even own any guns anymore. They were all lost in a tragic boating accident. Sorry, sorry about your luck. So, BZ, for your favorite story, you actually included audio, video, visual. I'm assuming you want us to play that.
Oh, sure. It was Wesley Hunt, and Wesley Hunt is a really cool dude. And Jasmine Crockett said that voter ID is just another poll tax. Wesley?
Jasmine Crockett said that voter ID was like a poll tax. What are your thoughts on that?
Voter ID is like a poll tax. So let me tell you something. I have a very big family, and my family is all black, and every single member of my family has what? A form of an ID that can allow you to vote in an election. I have a 3-year-old little boy, I have a 5-year-old daughter, and a 7-year-old daughter. You want to know what the first thing that they were given when they were born? A birth certificate and a social security number. So if you think that this is a poll tax, again, it's the dog whistling back to this Jim Crow 2.0 argument that I have already proven is null and void. It doesn't exist today. It's time to move on. The days of the poll tax and the days of Jim Crow are over.
Jasmine Crockett said.
All right, so I'm going to leave him on the screen for a second because dude's got some style too. Check out that suit.
Oh yeah.
Yep. I like him. That is a sharp suit.
I can't think of his name right now, but he does.
Wesley Hunt.
Well, no. I know his name. I was thinking of somebody else. There's a guy who does Fox Business News stuff, and he wears cool suits like that all the time too. But I can't think of his name right now, and I'm sad about that.
Yeah, I can see him.
Because he was actually he was doing a stint on the what amounts to Fox's late news show, but even though it's on the West Coast, so it's not late there, and he was like wearing a kind of a peach version of that very suit. And I added him and said, "Look at you pimping on air," and he actually reposted it. I was like, "Oh, that's awesome."
Nice.
But yeah, I for some reason I cannot remember his name, and I'm his face is right there, and I'm just like, my brain is like, nope. Yeah, error 404.
You're not thinking of Charles Payne, are you?
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, Charles Payne. Thank you.
That's his name. Thank you. Oh my God.
I don't know,
All right.
Dude. His face was right there, and I just couldn't get there. It was like my brain kept trying to find the file. It's like 404, 404.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. There's so
like
much going on in this brain right now.
Like Wesley, he's super smart.
Dude, he is fun to watch. He's actually one of the reasons why, since I've changed to Sling, I've been trying to figure out how to get Fox Business News less expensively because I miss seeing him on a regular basis. Because yeah, I found a way to get a lot of the news that I like to watch, since it's really all I use the live streaming for is news for like $20 a month. Mm-hmm. And yeah, so I think I may add another one of their little news packages to get some of the rest that I don't have anymore for like another $5 a month soon. But
right.
Anyway, so that's, as far as I know, everybody's favorite stories. Anybody got any final thoughts? Anything else you want to say before we start telling everybody where we can find all of you and those fun things?
No, just God bless the troops and everybody who is missing a loved one who gave their life in service of this country, with Memorial Day coming up this week. My thoughts will be with all of them, as always.
Oh, and before I forget, because I did announce last night on BZ's show that I'll be doing my usual Monday stuff. It is Memorial Day and my birthday, so there will not be Monday stuff.
Happy birthday. I will not sing for you.
Happy early birthday.
But yeah,
I will sing for you. Not now, though.
Oh, if you start trying to do a Marilyn Monroe impression, you and I may have to fight.
I can't do it.
But anyway, so one last final thought on my end before we get to BZ. I did mention with BZ, I thought it was interesting today that Trump put out a Truth Social post that he was not joining for his son's wedding. And I have a feeling the other shoe might be about to drop since he's deciding to stay in D.C. That's all I'm going to say about that. Because I don't know for sure. But that's just one of those. My spidey senses went off when he was like, yeah, because of my love of country and everything that's going on with Iran, as much as I want to be with my son during this special time, it's a small gathering anyway. And I have things I have to deal with as the president. So not only is he not going to his son's wedding, apparently he's not going to the White House South this weekend. So I have a feeling there may be a shoe about to drop. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, that's telling me something's going on because
bang, bang, boom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think so. I think he's probably just about had enough. I'll be really surprised if it doesn't happen. Because, yeah, this is a long weekend too. And especially Congress isn't going to be in session to yell at him for doing it other than social media. So, yeah, I think they're. Yeah.
He obviously heard our show last night.
Probably. Well, I mean, I'm not going to say not. But yeah, I mean, I still have concerns because of the economic spider web they've built everywhere. I don't really know how we extricate these crazy people without potentially collapsing the rest of the world's economies anymore, which is why I'm saying I really wish it was dealt with on January 22nd, 1981, when it should have been. But that is my final thought for the day. BZ, where can folks find you, sir?
Well, thank you. First, thanks for being on the show, allowing me to have a presence here, a seat, the circular head, so to speak. I'm BZ of BZ's Berserk Bobcat Saloon radio show.
Wait, hang on.
Yes.
Before you keep going, I have to do something.
Yes.
Because you just gave me an idea. Hang on.
All right. Okay.
The floating head of doom.
Nice. See, my mixer won't do that. I feel left out. This is terrible. Anyway, I'm your conservative Sherpa. I'm on SHR and X right here, courtesy of Rick Robinson. Please don't tax the Rick. Every Tuesday and Thursday night, 8 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Centrale, and 11 p.m. Eastern. I am your conservative Sherpa. Thank you, sir.
Somebody
Are they dropping bombs on you?
I'm assuming that was Amy, since it wasn't you. But
they just changed the flight path because I'm very near the Milwaukee airport, and now they're taking off over my house as opposed to whatever other direction they were just taking off in. But we're almost off the air.
Oh,
so.
Lovely.
Oh,
lovely.
You do get used to it, but every once in a while, it gets your attention.
Yeah, that was loud.
Yeah, it was.
It was very loud.
Normally my system tries to filter things like that out, and it was coming through my ears really, really loudly. And BZ was like, "Wait, is somebody trying to do a bombing run on your house?" I'm like, "Nope, must be maybe Amy's." But anyway, so thanks for joining us, folks. BZ, I think you got through everything before the plane flew over. I think.
I did.
Okay.
And again, thanks for having me.
And Amy, where can folks find you? At least until you run off to Egypt and probably never come back.
Yeah. I will be gone from the 5th through the 23rd to Egypt. Actually, the 3rd is when I fly out, but I will be writing from the sky because it's a long freaking flight. It's, like I said, Chicago, JFK to France to Cairo. So I got plenty of time to write some more stories. But you can find me on Town Hall every day, Monday through Friday, where I write a ton of stuff. Here on Fridays on the Weekend News Roundup, and then on Twitter, X at Ranty Amy Curtis. Oh, also go to Amazon and buy my book, Gaslight. I was on with BZ. Was that Tuesday night, BZ, to talk about it? It was a great conversation.
It was Tuesday night, and because everybody was looking at all of BZ's tabs, going, "How anal are you?" Just kidding.
Oh, I don't even tell you how many tabs I have open right now. But yeah, find me there and watch, because I'm going to start working on part 2. I think I'm going to do a follow-up to Gaslight because there's just so much going on. So Another book will be dropping sometime this year, I'm hoping.
Hey, you got to tell me, are you flying on Lufthansa?
No, I'm doing Delta from Chicago to New York, and then Air France to Cairo.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, if you're flying on an A380, I want to know how that is.
I am not. I can look it up later and let you know what I'm flying on, because I think it's all in the Delta app. So
okay,
I will certainly do that.
So you just gave me a thought, Amy. You know the whole Jim Crow 2.0 thing. You should just call your next book Gaslight 2.0, and we can try to make it a hashtag.
Oh, that's probably what it's going to be anyway. Because talking to BZ, there were so many things that I thought, oh, this is a great example of X, but it wasn't in my book because it's happened since I finally cut off the publication date and said, no, I can't update this anymore. So there will be a 2.0 for sure.
All right, folks, that's going to do it for this episode. So just keeping track. So far today, we've had Jesus for Dummies. We've done the Rick Robinson Show. Now we're doing the Weekend News Roundup. Here in just a little bit, I'll be streaming a simulcast for Beer and Bullstein, hosted by none other than Lyle Armstrong over at SHR Media. That is 6 o'clock Eastern. Then after that, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, the lovely Aggie Rican and I will be discussing some sort of fun Friday night topic. We haven't landed on one yet. And then I'm finally done for the day. And then I'm off tomorrow. So, yay.
Sayonara.
Bye, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your Friday. Say goodnight, Gracie.